Welcome back, everybody. Got a couple things going on today. What's going to be in what video, I have no idea. I did get some stuff for the brakes today, which I think is what we're going to work on today. I got a line lock kit, which is basically, just a cheap line lock kit I got off of Amazon. We got some nickel copper brake lines, fittings, most of the fittings we need. And then I got some straps and stuff like that to use. So we're going to start working on some stuff here this morning, this stuff. And we'll see what ends up where. But if you didn't see before, or I don't know where I'm going to put this clip in, maybe I'll put it in right now. All right. Back for another video. We're going to be taking a little break on the Pt28 rear end today. And we're going to be working in here. So I got a couple goals for today, and one of them involves that box right there. So, Willwood box, obviously brakes. I finally decided on a pedal. So what I got was a swing mount, forward-facing master cylinder pedal deal. So we got that to put in. Comes with some hardware. That's about it. But I'm going to go ahead and just start kind of placing stuff in here and see where we end up. And then when I decide to fab something, we'll go ahead and just start rolling and see what we come up with. Alright, so the clip you just saw was about a week and a half ago. And it became very evident very quickly that that brake pedal was not going to work. There just wasn't enough room with the steering column and having the master cylinders reverse mounted, and it just wasn't going to work. So, picked up a new pedal. This one's basically the same dual clutch design, but the master cylinder is going to be through the firewall in the engine bay, which isn't the way I wanted to do it, but it's not the end of the world. Our master cylinders are installed. They're Willwood master cylinders. We still have to do some support inside. But as you can see, there's the pedal. And they're dual master cylinders, so one's for the front and one's for the back. And then, like I said, we got our line lock kit. So we're going to have to go ahead and start figuring out how we're going to mount all that and run some brake lines and stuff like that. And maybe mount up some other lines in here, like these oil feed lines that I got going around. So we'll get those mounted up and just try to get the engine bay tightened up a little bit and get some more of the brake system done. So I'm going to go ahead and start working and see what we come up with. Alright, so I got some work done. I strapped up all of our oil feed lines. It turned out really good. I started doing some brake lines. As you can see, I got the line lock down there for the front brakes. And basically I got one line that runs across, goes over, comes down on this side, go to that side, and then the other one kind of does the same thing. It just goes down right there, and we'll connect down there, but I'm still waiting for the fittings for that end. I'm also still waiting for these fittings that are going to go on the end of my master cylinders, but the line that I'm working on now, and I have kind of this temporary line that I don't like right now, is the line that needs to go to the back. So I'm going to start looking at how we can get that line back there. Basically, it needs to come just from this master cylinder, just one line. It needs to go underneath all this somehow and end up back here around like here, something like right here. And then there's this fitting that is, so this part will be mounted on here somewhere. Something like this maybe, and this basically just goes right to this caliper. Then there'll be one that goes across that caliper, and then this fitting is the one that's going to mount to the frame so that we can connect the back brakes to it. And obviously there's plenty of travel and play here so the suspension can go up and down. So there's not an easy route underneath the car because the frame rails have stuff on the insides and the outsides. So I'm going to go ahead and explore that, see if we can figure it out, and get that ready. And then pretty much our brake lines will be pretty much done. We'll just have to, put the rest of the ends and fittings on, and then when we're ready, we'll tighten everything up. And then when we're ready, just fill them up with fluid and bleed them out, and should be good to go. Alright, so the back brake line's all done. As you can see, it comes up from right there, cuts across, goes to our master cylinder. Still waiting on those fittings. And it comes down here and goes all the way under here. Loops over. Goes on this side. I did put some nuts in the middle to space this out from this metal. And it ends right here, which is going to be where we put a little tab for the flex line to attach to. Trying to knock out some systems here, so the next thing we're going to work on is finishing up the brake lines. I got our last fittings, which go in the master cylinders. We're going to have to take quite a bit of those lines off to get the ends put on them. We're going to make a bracket for the back, and I'm going to get some of that done. For anybody that cares, obviously, this is the tool I'm using to do my flares. I would not suggest any other tool. This thing is super easy to use. It's awesome. It was, you know, an off-brand model that is the exact same thing as one that's twice as much. I can't remember how much this was. I bought it a little while ago. But this thing makes perfect flares. Double flares, bubble flares, ready to go. DINs, so this is the perfect tool to use. There is those weird little handheld ones. I tried one before I bought this. It was crap. It marred up the pipe. The end looked terrible. Just to give you an idea, here's like one of the ends I made with that thing, which as you can see is perfect. And it takes literally 30 seconds to make this end. So for bending these tubes, this nickel copper line is really soft. You can actually you can bend this tube by hand with no issues, and it's never supposed to rust and blah, blah, blah. I did use a tubing bender, which is basically just this little thing here. You stick them in, you kind of bend it. I did use this on some of these bends just to make them look like perfect 90s and super smooth, especially the ones that go around the top and down like these ones you're going to see. So, but you can bend this nickel copper line by yourself. All the line underneath I just bent by hand. So, yeah. But brake lines are all done, minus a couple fittings. All we need is the ones to go on the calipers in the front because they're metric. The ones on the back and every other fitting on here is going to be a standard fitting, which is a 3/16. I think it's 3/8 24, but I'll double check and put it in the comment or in the video here. Brake lines are 100% done. Well, 99.9% done. The only thing I'm missing is the one clip that holds the soft line in down there, but everything else is done. It's all tight. We're good to go. The only thing we have to do is add fluid and pressurize the brakes, which we're not going to do today. We're going to be working on something right now that I've kind of been avoiding because it's a little tricky, a little complicated. I couldn't think of a good way to do it, but we got to get it done. And that's this whole area in here. So as you can see, I got the pedal mounted, the brake pedal mounted. I have an accelerator pedal we're going to put in there, but my main concern is the steering column. If you've been watching the build, you know that I've had the steering column in here once before, but the way I mounted it was very flimsy and it wasn't exactly in the right spot, so we kind of have to remake that. Also, with the brake pedal in here, it adds a little bit more complication because there's more stuff in the way. So, but luckily, all we really have to mount in there now is the steering column and the accelerator pedal. So if we can get that stuff to fit in there, which the accelerator pedal I'm not worried about. That's super skinny, easy to do. But the steering column is the hard part. So I'm going to go ahead and get started. And first thing I think we're going to do is try to support the brake pedal and then build off of that for the steering column. So I'm going to go ahead and get started. Holy crap, that took a long time. So obviously the footage is probably going to be very short, maybe a minute of time lapse or something like that, because I'm probably not even going to show you it all. But making that piece took me like 6 or 7 hours. So yeah. Obviously, sitting here, everything's good to go. Steering wheel's mounted, got that plate through the firewall, which is pretty good. We still have a little bit of flex on the steering column in the engine bay, so we might put a little support on one of the towers out there, the shock tower, which is really close to where our steering column is, or something like that, or we might just leave it. I don't know. The only other thing we have to do in here is I'm going to add some supports, maybe one like there, and we're going to add one on this corner that goes down to somewhere over here, and that'll be it. We're obviously going to dress this up a little bit more so that we can mount some probably gauges or screen up here, and just to make it look a little bit cleaner. But for right now, functionality, I think that does the trick. We are very close to the balance bar on here, but obviously it's not set. So we'll probably just go ahead and once we get the brakes set up, if we need to adjust more that way, we might have to take the balance bar out and cut a little bit off of it. So, but we'll see once we get the brakes bled and feel them out and decide where they need to be balanced, because there's a good chance that it might just go farther that way, because that is the front master cylinder. Right now they're about 50-50. We're probably going to want more braking in the front, so because obviously the calipers in the front are a little bit bigger, and you know, that's just the way cars normally are, more braking in the front. So I think that's going to be it for this video. Knocked out 2 major systems in this video. We finished up the brakes 100%. All we have to do is put fluid in them. We finished up our steering column mount, and got to do, you know, that's almost 100% now too. So I'm actually going to go ahead and finish that up off camera, so it will be 100% by the next time you guys see it. But yeah, we're all good to go. So thanks for watching. Like, share, comment, subscribe. It really helps if you watch these videos to the end. It really helps if you hit that like button. It really helps if you comment. So if you guys like my work and you like seeing what I do, this is just the first build. Obviously after this, we're going to be getting back to some of our other cars and get some other stuff going, and keep the channel going. So like, share, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you